First item on there is the band shell, and it's completed and it looks good.
That's
We actually
nice.
have some before and after pictures if anyone wants to come and see them. So
That's great.
I thought you did a great job.
They did.
I'll make a motion to pay the claims and payroll.
Okay, second.
I'll second the motion.
Pam,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
motion carries. Reports manner. Is Police chief.
Payroll.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Month of March was a lot like the month of February. Of course, all over the country, we're getting a lot of calls all over the country on Health and Human Services. We're having a lot of that. I don't know if that's due to the pandemic that was going on. But we do a lot of them calls. We've had a lot of investigations with them. Other than that, everything else is pretty much in there. If you have any questions, a lot of domestic disturbances have started coming up again.
What was because I know somebody will ask, the dog at large?
We had several dogs at large. We're working 2 of the cases right now yet.
Gotcha.
Because owners weren't around when they were out.
Okay. Any questions for the chief? Okay. We'll come back to you later. Thank you.
All right.
Economic development, Susan? Good evening.
Good evening. Hey. On the Plainview fourplex project, we finally did get all the documents into the DED. Hoping to get release of funds shortly. I did speak to the investor and developer. Even with their climbing lumber prices, they are ready to go as soon as we get our money. So we're kind of hoping to break ground up there within the next 30 days.
I was questioned about that today. They said, has they dug a hole yet? And I said, nope, not yet.
Can't touch it till we get the money.
Right.
So. But everyone's chomping at the bit, so they're ready to go. Haven't heard any guidelines yet on that disaster recovery grant. As soon as we get something from the new administration, we'll do that. On the DTR, we are still waiting for release of funds on this project as well from the state. But the business owner applications have been out for over a month. The application period we said would be 60 days. The deadline is May 7th. The business owners did get a contractor list and have to obtain 2 bids. I did speak to several of the business owners. They are having a lot of trouble getting those contractors to come, and then if they do come, they're having a hard time getting the bid. So we're really thinking about maybe having to extend that deadline, which is something we didn't want to do, but we might just have to. So I'm going to wait it out for the next couple weeks and see how it goes, because our deadline we said was May 7th, so we may be pushing that back to the end of May just to see if that helps. But we've been looking at secondary contractors. We've been sending a lot of lists out in the last week or 2. So
how fast will that work after the bids come? I mean, it'll take another month, won't it, or something like that?
the DTR committee will meet. So like we had all the applications due on a Friday, and they were to meet on the following Monday and go through everything. So hopefully it'll be really fast.
Wonder if we're not going to have to see some estimates rather than bids or something like that. You know, we're seeing that problem all over.
Yeah.
You can call a contractor 10 times, but if they won't get back to you and give you the bid, you got nothing to turn in.
Yep. So.
Yep. I've had some just tell me they're too busy.
And that's the other thing. I mean, some of them are very, very busy.
Yeah, I called one bricklayer guy and he said, forget it.
Yeah.
I'm busy all summer.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about it.
I think the biggest misconception is that we have more time than just the summer. So people don't realize
gotta
that. So
get
they
the
talk to
bid.
these guys and they
Yeah.
go, I'm filled up till fall, you know. Let them bid it for next spring if you have to.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So we've been fielding a lot of phone calls, talking to a lot of concerned business owners. So we'll kind of see how it goes. But if you see that deadline has been extended, that's the reason why. So on our USDA Rural Innovation Challenge grant, this is for your comp and strat plans. The kickoff meeting for Madison and Pierce County communities will be April 28th in Norfolk. Plainview will be the first community in Pierce County to go forward and work with 5 rural planning. Jeremy's in charge of that team. So we'll kind of see how it goes, but we're kind of excited for that process as well. We have a few new businesses in town. Melissa Smith State Farm has opened up a new office in the former Bob Arlt building. She's here Tuesdays and Thursdays. And Kyle Peterson Law, is working with Bruce Curtis now. So we're excited to have him here and start working with him. On Pierce County Economic Development, just a couple things. PCD is writing the grants for Plainview, Pierce, Osmond Police Departments. This is to get the e-citation equipment that's being required by the state, also to get body cams, and maybe there's a few other things. I have a meeting tomorrow with some of the chiefs. The grant is a reimbursable grant, so that's tough when it's outside of a budget year. So what I did was I talked to the county, and we are going to write the grant under the county. We'll put it under my budget at PCD. We will advance the money for all of the purchases, and we will just wait to get reimbursed whenever the grant comes through. So we're hoping to make that an easy process for all the police departments. Once the grant is awarded, we'll have a meeting with all the chiefs and the county clerk and the treasurer, and we'll kind of go in the city administrators, and we'll kind of go through the process of submitting invoices and payments. So hopefully we get it pretty streamlined, but we are excited for that grant to finally get some of the equipment that we really need. We also partnered with the Nebraska Community Foundation to create a Pierce County Youth Council for grades 9 through 12. So we will be pulling some students from this area in high school, working on youth visioning, goal setting, sense of place projects. We're also going to partner with UNL eShip and Rural Prosperity to bring some youth leadership entrepreneurship classes to the Pierce County high school students outside of school. Since we've surveyed all of the high schools, 60 to 80% of them are asking for those courses. So we're going to look for ways to provide that. PCED did find out last week that we will have 3 Rural Futures Institute interns this summer. They'll be working with us from May 25th through August 6th. You will be seeing them at all the meetings throughout the summer. They have 9 major projects for us, and they do include the city of Plainview. So when they get ready to work on projects for Plainview, you will get to see them some more, and Jeremy will get to meet them. And I think there's other things on the list, but I'm going to keep it short. If you have any other questions. Okay.
Thank you very much. City Attorney report.
Time.
You want to do superintendent?
How about superintendent?
Sorry, City Attorney. Oh, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Hey,
3 normal
skipping
months.
ahead.
Put on your other hat.
I was making it too fast, sorry.
Yeah, 3 normal month. Got a new water line for Alexander put in on 5th Street. Been opening stuff up and pouring a little concrete. And some normal monthly stuff, so.
I see we finally got that issue behind Mitch's.
Yeah, we did. Got the fiber out of the sewer main, so. Got her done.
Good.
Are you planning on painting the parking strips downtown anytime soon? I had a couple people asking if that's gonna get there. It's probably on your list.
Yep.
Closer Clown Carnival we talked about, so it's
Yeah,
look nice.
hopefully before then, 1st of June. We got a pool to paint and stuff like that to do, so I'll be busy.
When you paint lines downtown, give some thought in front of the medical clinic and the hospital to putting in more angle. That's only about a half a street there. When everybody parks at the old angles with the extended cab pickups, there's not much street. You get to see everybody going down the road waiting for other oncoming traffic. You give up a parking space, but you might angle it a little more.
We'll look at it.
Might have to make a new jig though, that'd be a big deal.
Thinking so, yeah.
I got a question for you. They did the band shell and it looked super, but is all that paint and stuff on the ground, is that an issue with the lid
From the paint,
from the band shell?
I haven't looked at it. I thought they were gonna.
There's a few scrapings and stuff. I don't think it'll be an issue, but we can address it.
I just wondered about that.
I didn't know. I thought they were gonna back all that up. So.
Yeah, it's.
He'll come in tomorrow for his check, so we can talk to him then.
Yeah, because there's a lot of it. I was just wondering if that's an issue. It probably is, I would suppose. Thanks for getting the street sweeper around too. Patching it together.
Working on it.
Yep, looks good. Thank you.
Brian, you have anything? Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Bruce, now go. I got the check mark now. There we go. Okay.
Okay. We only have one thing, just a brief report. You've got the agenda item in a moment. But we had conversation about the dollar store ordinance, and Susan knew some people might be gonna call. Well, they did call. We spent a little time on the phone with some folks from Omaha, curious about the ordinance and what we're gonna do about it and why we're gonna do about it. I got very little out of them as far as any serious comments during our conversation. They suggested they would write a letter. So I said, well, that'd be just fine. Send us a letter and we'll talk about it. So that's where we're at. There may be something coming. Depending on the letter and depending on what we decide in discussion, we might talk to the Planning Commission about zoning issues or other things. We'll see about that maybe at the next meeting, but there's nothing to do with it now. It's just an update. Other than that, you've got your agenda item. I'd asked Kyle to come. Got to stand up and wave, Kyle, at least. As you might have noticed in the picture in the paper, he's a little taller than I am.
No. I thought that was just the angle.
But, if you read the paper, you know Kyle's been out and about and working in a couple different towns for 8 years, so he's pretty well ready and able to pick up whatever comes along. We've been getting along fine so far and making things work. I had suggested to Jeremy that in the event of my absence or inability or gone or something, it might be well to have him on the book as assistant or associate city attorney. I think probably assistant city attorney is a good way to put it. And then if I happen to be gone or something, he's got full authority to do city business for you too. That's fine with me. We may have to have a meeting if we do this, go down to the city office and talk about how we're going to make the bookkeeping work. You know, he and I have our own internal plans on accounting, but it's complicated enough between myself and Courtney for, well, there's retainer stuff and there's litigation stuff and there's economic development stuff, and maybe we need to adjust that plan, but we could talk that over and maybe bring you a proposal next month if we decide we need to modify it. It becomes sort of complicated between sorting it out in our store and sorting it out at the city, how we're going to make that stuff work. But otherwise, yeah, if you could, you have the right to adjust or hire additional counsel at any time, so I think just a simple motion to authorize Kyle to act as assistant city attorney would be well done.
So currently until you come forward, we'll continue as paying through you for all of his assistant work then?
Well, we're going to do all the billing through a single source anyway, but how we allocate it and distribute it from both ends kind of needs a little discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, currently we're doing all the bookkeeping, Curtis Law Office bookkeeping. That'll stay that way, but sorting it out in the details is the trick.
Okay. So discussion action, approval to hire assistant to city attorney Kyle Peterson, added 4/9 of 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve Kyle as assistant city attorney.
Okay, second? Second?
Discussion?
We have to second before we discuss. Third call for a second.
Is there something that anyone has questions about?
I don't know.
I don't think we had enough notice. That's all. We didn't have enough notice, enough information.
Okay.
I mean, just because you picked him or you hired him, whatever, doesn't mean that, that's who we have to stay with or anything. I don't know the guy. We don't know nothing about him.
So,
Fair enough. You wanna write up a resume or something before you
I'd appreciate
examine it?
that. Yes,
That's easy done.
I'd like to speak to him personally is all, see a little bit about him.
Okay. You want a personnel committee meeting or something like that, or I don't know if you're on the personnel committee?
I'm not on the personnel committee.
Well, we can
I'll just
certainly,
stop up and talk to him if you don't
yeah,
mind.
we can certainly do that anytime.
So,
But we can write up a little resume thing and get it to everybody if you want some more details.
yes, I would like that, please.
That's easy done.
You okay with that? Okay, number 5, Proclamation, Arbor Day, April 24th. Celebrate Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, increase the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal, now therefore I, Brian Schlody, Mayor of the City of Plainview, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2021 as Arbor Day in the City of Plainview, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of the future of this and future generations, dated this 13th day of April 2021. Number 6, discussion action, approval of ADA action plan for City of Plainview.
We updated this last year. You have to have a current one in order to apply for federal grants, and ours was about 10 years old. Last year, Tyler and Pam were appointed to a committee to update it every year. I emailed them earlier and I didn't get any response back, so I'm assuming everything was okay. The only thing I changed was added Jeremy as a contact as well. That's the only change I made, so if you guys are okay with that. None of our facilities have changed, so nothing should need to be majorly overhauled on it.
Motion, Brian?
Yep.
Make a motion to approve the ADA action plan for the city of Plainview.
Okay.
Second?
Second, any further discussion? Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 7, discussion action, approval of pool board recommendation for employees. Okay. You want me to say all the names and all that?
Yeah.
Okay. Manager Sophie McGregor, full-time returning lifeguards, Brittany Goots, Lauren Darnell, Spencer Knock, Heather Pendergast, Allison Hardesty, Leighton Medina, Emma King, part-time new lifeguards, Haley Miller, Taya Boyer, Ronnie Pruitt, and Derek Ricks. Okay. What do you wish to do with the pool board recommendation?
I'll make a motion to approve
Okay.
full board recommendation.
Okay, second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 7, discussion action, approve board recommendations for employees. Wages.
Number
Oh, sorry.
8. Number 8.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Pool board recommendation for wages. Yeah. Wages, manager, $11. Full-time guards, $9.75. Part-time guards, $9. What do you wish to do with their recommendation?
Make the motion to approve the wages of the manager, full-time guards, and part-time guards
Okay,
as
second.
recommended.
I'll
Second.
second that motion.
Any further discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Motion carries. And number 9, discussion action of pool board recommendations for pool pass prices 2021, which was the same as last year. Season pass up to 4 family members, $100. More than 4 family members, $125. Single pass, $60. Daily pass, junior high and adult, $3. Daily pass, kindergarten through 6th grade, $2. Age 5 and under, free. And pool party, $75.
So these are the same thing.
Yes, same as last year.
I'll make a motion to approve the school board recommendations for pool pass cost.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number,
Sorry to interrupt you.
yep, go ahead.
Okay. One thing we are gonna do, we will re-advertise for another manager, just because we have to have a manager on site at all times, and so we'll have to re-advertise for a manager position for lifeguard, so. And it could be one of the full-time ones who wanna step up, but we just leave it open for anybody, so.
Okay, number 10, discussion action, approval of seasonal park employees. Returning park employees Eli Lanham and Brett Norris, and a new park seasonal employee William Christensen.
I make a motion to approve the 3 seasonal park employees.
Okay, second.
Second.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 11, discussion action approval of wages for seasonal park employees. Eli Lanham, $11 an hour. Brett Norris, $9.50 an hour. And William Christensen, $9 an hour.
I'll make a motion to approve the wages for seasonal park employees.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries.
One thing on this one too, we're gonna advertise probably for part-time C&D / park person if we have it budgeted, but they'll have to be at least 18, so they can't fall on the,
Sure.
so parks can be 16, and for the C&D, they'll have to be 18, due to the larger equipment.
Okay. Number 12, discussion action approval of hiring of part-time police officers Christy Halleck and Dan Halleck, updated 4/9/2021, and they are right there.
Hello.
There you go. Hi,
Hi.
welcome.
Thank you.
Dan works full-time at Pierce County and Christy full-time at Madison County, and they live in Plainview, and they've agreed to help us out with your blessing. Did I word that correctly?
I think better words than I could probably choose.
I'm trying.
They both have other full-time jobs, and talking to them, they might be able to pick up 1 shift a week here and there for now, until we get it going a little bit, get through the summer and celebrations and everything. So that's what we're planning on doing right now. Unless they want to work more.
Anything else?
Nope. I'll just do that one first.
I'll make a motion to approve the hiring part-time police officer Christy Hallett.
Second.
Okay. Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next. Oh, you don't have the updated, we got, that's for her husband Dan also there.
It should be one.
That's on the updated one, sorry.
Oh, yeah, two, sorry, yeah, it's Chrissy and Dan, yeah.
Christy and Daniel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, I make a motion to approve the hiring of part-time police officer Christy Hallett and Dan Hallett.
Okay. Second.
I'll second.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 13, discussion action.
Thank you.
Oh, well,
Yeah, we gotta do that.
half it, Pam, we didn't think of it before you get paid.
Approval of wages for part-time police officers at $18 an hour. And hopefully that was negotiated when you talked with Jerry. That's a comparable wage to other cities around the areas.
I'll make a motion to approve the wages of part-time officers of $18 an hour.
Okay, second.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, Brian?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you again. Okay, let's see. Number 14, discussion action approval of contract with Bud Sanitary Service LLC.
Sounds like something. Have some issue for you.
And that was mainly the same as the last contract with the addition of the totes. Is that correct, Mr. Curtis?
Yeah, he had questioned the gallonage on the totes, and we changed that to his updated how many gallons the current totes are. And he changed the phrase about all acceptable domestic garbage instead of making a list. But no harm done.
Sure.
And it's been reprinted. Heather sent that to you earlier?
Everybody should have a copy.
Yeah.
And it matches our ordinance and everything for it too, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just the formal form to sign. You've already agreed to hire him.
Right.
Alright.
Yeah.
And he bid the same as last year, so the contract shouldn't be any additional price.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for Bud Sanitary Service.
Okay, second. Any discussion? Voting, Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 15, discussion action on Keno grants. The balance at the end of March, $43,251.81, 43251.81, and that was with the FFA drones still out, right? You said?
Yeah, that is still outstanding. It's not
It's
taken out
outstanding.
yet, so.
So it'd be a little bit less than that. So. First one is for Plainview Pirate Speech for an industrial printer for visual aids, $1,500. Jackie King, if you would like to, yes. We don't bite. We're our social distance.
Well, originally, this was going to be a surprise for Mrs. Mosel. I had sent letters to all the businesses in town and to the parents, and I have collected $1,500 from all of them and was looking for matching funds. The printer that they're looking at is $3,000, and that doesn't really include all the programs and supplies and everything that goes along with it. I did tell her about it because I don't know anything about this printer, and if you were going to ask me a lot of technical questions, I was like, I'm going to bring her here. But I did hear that the school is also possibly going to maybe help purchase something like that, but I know that there's a lot of other expenses that go along with the printer. It's the printer, but then, I mean, as you know,
Right.
you don't just buy a printer for $3,000 and then that's all you have to do. She has 27 kids in her program, and they adore her. And if you've ever gone to a speech meet, you know that it's amazing, and they need something that's good quality. I guess I just think that it's a great program, and I'd like to see it get some funding to be able to help it to succeed. You know, there's 2 of them and 27 kids, so anything that we can do to make it easier for her, I mean, we're just helping our youth as much as helping our school system, so.
Absolutely.
This is to make props for when they give speeches, correct?
Yeah, it does.
Part of it.
Part of it, but what all does it?
It's not just, it's not props, they're visual aids and they're posters. And I think Dr. Arlt could attest to the fact that I spend a lot of time on these things, and they are changing. And I have to evolve with it. It used to be you would cut it out letter by letter and letter, and you'd find the pictures, and that's what we're still doing. It's evolved, and they now make very flashy posters. Some of them lit up last year with lights. Some of them have water accents that flow through them. And right now, I can't do any of that stuff. And does it affect our students? If it comes down to a tie and a tiebreaker, yes, it will affect them. I'm not the only speech coach in the area in this boat, but Nebraska is probably the leading state in the United States for speech programs. UNL is number one. UNO is number one in their division, and I believe Hastings College is number one in theirs. And we are just, we're pretty good, you know, the state as a whole. So I want to step the game up a little bit. I didn't know that they were doing this. It was a wonderful surprise, but Mr. Schmidt and I had been discussing this because Wausau has one of these printers. And I sent him pictures of it from their meet. I said, this is what I was talking about. It can be utilized by our drafting program as well. And Mr. Juden happens to be my assistant, and he's the head of our SHIP program, and he's a real progressive, wonderful young man. And he said, I want it. Me, I'm ready. Yes. Diet Coke always does things for me. But, you know, and not only that, it literally makes posters like the one behind you on the wall, but much bigger, much fancier. It's also something that we have a new technology and business teacher coming in next year, and Mr. Schmidt told me she's going to teach some design classes. So this is something that wouldn't just affect, and I'm going to have close to 40 kids on the team next year. And this wouldn't just affect those 40, but it would affect a lot of pirate students. So that's what it's for. But it was a complete surprise, but it was a lovely surprise. They must have heard how much, the kids must be going home and telling their parents a lot of things. Yeah.
Well, they just want to help. They love speech.
I know they do.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
What does the council wish to do?
I personally think it's money well spent. And I would like to make a motion to approve the $1,500 Keno grant for the industrial printer for the store.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? Voting, Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Keep up the great work, Mrs. Mosley. Next one, Plainview Chamber of Commerce Clown Festival, $3,500. And Ashley's back there, right?
I can help with this one. I talked to Cassie about this one. And Susie can help out. She's the festival coordinator, I guess. But it's pretty simple. The funds will go towards the Clown Festival. It's a 3-day event, obviously June, family-friendly events for the entire community. As you can see, our total costs are over $8,500. We offer the fireworks, the barbecue, which we don't know total price of barbecue yet. We're still working with our pitmaster, what you want to call him, barbecue king, I don't know. And then the Midway and Carnival. Our chamber has gone through, I'm going to say, a lot of evolving, a lot of new faces, a lot of old faces leaving, new faces coming in. We've kind of struggled to really get going, but now I think we're on from when I was here last fall, we're on a whole different page. We've got a lot of newcomers, but we just need a little extra boost this year to keep us going. And we just don't think the money's going to be there for us to give a festival for our community. So we just asked for a little help. We don't plan on doing it again next year. Asking for more donations and stuff. We plan on being able to self-sustain if we can. So I guess if Susan has any other.
Yeah, the last time we asked for a Keno grant was in 2017 when the festival changed hands from the 3 ladies that ran it before. And we haven't been back since. It was fully sustaining. What we ran into was the flood, and then we had the COVID pandemic, so we canceled it last year. And just, a lot of our business owners are still recovering, and we, personally as the festival chair, I just didn't feel right going back and asking them for more money to fund the festival, which was what we normally do. The chamber did vote to go ahead and send the letters out, so they're hopefully going out this week, but I don't expect the $12,000 to $13,000 that we would normally get from those donations to happen. The price of the carnival also went up. It was $5,500. It's $69.85 this year. So, things are changing as well. So, we just would like to ask for your support for this year, just because it typically is funded by our business owners, but they've had a hard hit. So, and we're also with the DTR. Many of them are having to come up with $5,000 to access the full amount of money available to them. So there's just a number of factors that went into this one this year.
I think Ashley can help me out. Currently, the festival counts like $600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're poor. Please help us.
So we got to send out some letters. Yeah.
But, Plainview.
Yeah, I mean, in the festivals, you know, we try to keep the kids' offerings free. You know, the inflatable carnival, the midways, the prizes, the games. The whole point of that was to keep it free, and that's why the business owners support it. But this year, we're just going to fall short.
I'll make a motion to approve the Chamber of Commerce funds for the Clown Festival.
I'll second. For the full amount, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And second, any discussion? Pam?
Aye.
Bob? Aye. Brian?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Number 16, discussion, action, approval of street closures for Highway 20 Hot Rod Car Show, June 12th, 2021. Is that you, Dr. Thor?
Yes, sir. We're doing it on June 12th. The real reason that we're doing this is an infusion of funds to the city. I mean, it's a big day for the gas stations. All the restaurants have record days. We used to do it with clown days. We ran short of help. So in other instances, other car shows that were much bigger took our cars. We'd go from 130 say last year to 228 if we're on the right weekend. And consistency is a key on something like this because all the old gentlemen that bring their cars, we average about 2.5 people per car. So we had 228 cars. And that's not the public. So you can imagine the gas stations, the restaurants, the hotels, what it does for the community. And that's really what it was about. It was initially when Bruce helped me get it going way back when. It was clown days to get more people to barbecue. Well, they all leave town as soon as the thing go over anyway. And we were just short help. The ball backers going on. We just didn't have the help. So joining me tonight are the Lincoln Feather Boys and Grant. Grant runs pretty much the day of, so I'm going to let him have it for the streets and stuff.
I guess I'm the logistics guy is my title. Really what we're looking at is closing the same streets. I think you have a map from last year. One thing that I noticed the map showing is just a small detail that we usually close or we try to reserve as an extra spot is basically Main Street south toward D&M Berry. It's not on here. There's a couple of the years we've had to put a couple things around the corner. The other spot that we try to basically barricade off is the half block north of Steincroft Service from the phone company maintenance building. We always block that too because there's been a year we had like a dyno in town that they had made a little noise that we put them down there. It's just more overflow. Other than that, logistics are the same. We'll have the porta potties unless Kurt has something major on the street department. He's great about getting me the barricades and everything like that. And we get them all set up ahead of time. Usually try to close the streets the morning of between 6 and 7 o'clock is usually when we're out there. So and then cleaned up right as the cars are leaving town.
It also is a big benefit to FFA at Home and Garden Show. I mean, they have Christy Binger has all her people come in and keep growing every year. She takes up almost a whole street now by herself, which is excellent. And they get all the revenue, all the vendor she books, so all the vendor payments and everything goes to the FFA. So we try to help as many people as we can while this thing's going on.
Any questions, comments, anything?
I was very impressed last year.
I talked to Thor just for everybody to know that you do leave Ashley open for her business and Mitch's and the post office if people need it, so they still have access to the.
Yeah, we barricade from Ashley's driveway south and then from Mitch's back to the west.
Well, Courtney, have you got a list of the streets from here to there that you can put in the motion? I doubt if they're going to recite that. You're going to approve the map, but with a couple additions, huh?
Yeah.
And if we're going to enforce it or ever have cause to enforce it, you really need to make the list.
It'd be the 200 block south Main. And then basically the south half of the 100 block. Southbound.
Good over here.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the street closures for the Highway 20 Hot Rod Car Show on June 12th.
Second?
Second?
Any further discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Number 17, discussion action approval for Clown Days fireworks June 5th, 2021, with an alternate date of July 5th, 2021.
Yeah, the fireworks show gonna be Saturday night down by the ball fields, as we've done the last couple years. Ball backers like it, that way there's a lot of kids there to see it too. So it's working out well, and then that alternate date, that's the date that the Manor is holding their 4th of July celebration, and we gave them a rain date in the last couple years, and we actually did use it in 2019, so it just helps boost their event in case we can't get ours off.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Clown Days fireworks for June 5th, alternate date of July 5th.
Okay, second?
I'll second that motion.
That was fun. Okay. Pam?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 18, discussion action, NDEE SRF sewer loan refinancing.
So Austin contacted me again. He said with the volatility of the government and everything, rates did go up more than we projected. The good news is we still have NDE, the actual state, to fall back on for our loan. He's nice. He's contacted me with everybody that he's been already talking to, and so we're just getting the ball rolling to go through the state now. He was nice enough to call and tell me that, you know, we're better off. We're going to save more money through the state. So that was real nice of him instead of just going through him with it. So he's been easy to work with and has really helped us out. So we'll just have to wait for next meeting, and I'll be in touch with the state for 1% loan right now.
We're looking at the same amount, pretty much, Jeremy.
Yeah, pretty much close to what he projected the first time. He was within like 0.05% the first. I don't remember what the exact number was last time he promoted it here, but now he's at 1.13, and the state's still at 1%. So he said we'll save 0.13 by going through the state. And so he said he can help me out wherever we have to, and we'll move from there. I thought it was real nice of him.
Okay, number 19, discussion action, special designated liquor licenses. First one's for Plainview Chamber of Commerce, June 5th Festival Barbecue from 5 to 8 p.m. in the Bandshell Park.
That's actually.
Yeah.
I'm just here on behalf of the chamber, proposing that we have a beer garden during the community barbecue. As it says, from 5 to 8. It would be a 100 by 150 foot area that would be fenced off. Just another social event for our community during the Clown Day Festival. So with the city's blessing, we hope to move forward with that.
Are we not doing it around the same
You putting the
volleyball?
fence up, Ashley?
Oh, by the sand volleyball, yes.
No, we moved it. I moved it. Okay. It's going to be on the basketball court.
So yeah, they talked to us. So if we have to do the sandball one, we'll have to have a separate one for it.
So we'll have to do another one.
Yeah, for the sandball court. Yeah, because
So we're basically
we can't eat on the volleyball.
Okay.
Yeah, we're basically going to fence off the
Basketball.
court by the bandshell. And that's, people can eat in there and then also have the beer garden in there, so it's all in one spot.
Is
So
there anything going on at the band show at that time?
during the barbecue, they'll have awards and stuff on stage, but nothing on the actual basketball court.
I mean, as far as kids and stuff,
If they have an entertainment, it'll be on the stage, so,
we'll see.
yep.
It'll be separate. Yep. It'll give people who want to be in there, and then give room for people who don't.
Oh,
Well, so everybody will access if they choose to be not in the beer garden or in
I'm
it. So
sorry, the other.
Well, okay, so the past couple of years, we put all the picnic tables on the basketball court instead of having them spread out through the park. So we're not doing that. We're gonna spread all the tables out throughout the park again and have something separate on the basketball court, beer garden.
You can eat on the basketball court, so that way you can drink your beer with your meal if you so choose.
Okay,
We'll
so the
spread out.
designated eating area is the beer garden. Whether you choose to drink or not is up to you.
We can spread tables out, that's not a problem. I mean, we have plenty of picnic tables, that's,
I'm just looking for clarification because this is new.
yeah. This just makes it simpler, that way you're not having to stand somewhere else and drink your beer. You can eat it with your meal. That was kind of the purpose of having the beer garden with the barbecue. So if your tables are in with your beer garden, you can eat and drink at the same time.
So then does everybody going in there still have to show their ID even if they don't drink or only if they purchase?
Only if you purchase it.
Had a wristband last year.
You can
Yeah, we
wristband
did
them.
wristbands.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years ago, I remember it was.
Okay.
make a motion to approve the Chamber of Commerce's liquor license for the Clown Festival.
Okay, second.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next one is for Keystone on June 4th from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. and that's on Friday, and Saturday, June 5th from 1 p.m. to 2 a.m. for a cornhole tournament.
We're actually changing that. It'll just be on Friday.
Just on Friday?
Yep.
We're using a rain date.
And a rain date on, we had an alternate date just in case Friday
Gotcha.
wasn't gonna work, so.
Sure.
Well, yeah, because actually, the way we're talking now, we're just gonna do the cornhole tournament Friday evening. And, so it would be just beside the bar where I've done
Between the
before.
street and alley, like always.
Just right there from the alley to Locust Street on Maple Street. It would be just fenced off. I might need, if you guys give me your blessing on that, I might need, I don't know how many boards we're planning on bringing her in. That's all in the mix yet. But I might need to maybe borrow 2 or 3 tables from the city for seating out there if we can. But I don't even know if we'll have room because I don't know how many boards we got coming in. So that's what I'm looking for on the 4th with the rain date as of the 5th.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Keystone's temporary liquor license for June 4th and rain date of June 5th.
Okay,
Second.
second. Any discussion? Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Motion carries. And the next one is for Keystone, Saturday, June 12th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. during the Highway 20 Hot Rod Car Show.
That right there, do they have a map, Courtney, on that? Okay.
Similar as last year?
Yeah, it'd be pretty much the same as last year. I have people out there floating through the whole time, through the whole day. We've had really good luck with it. There is, just sitting here kind of listening, like to Grant and stuff too, I don't know if there's any way of adding part of the street onto that, only because where they do their food, sometimes they like to take a beverage to go eat their sandwich that's set up there for that. So I don't know if we would be able to add that part into that or not. So
You
that
just
would
want the
be
same streets as the car show,
Just matching the
correct?
car show.
just matching the car show. Yeah. So basically where the cars are at is where, we don't do the fence or anything, but we do signs, no alcohol. And like I said, I do have people out there wandering all the time. Set my beer tents up where they can watch real well as well.
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion to allow Keystone a special liquor license for the Highway 20 Hot Rod Car Show on the designated streets, the same as the car show.
Second.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 20, discussion action, Health Board recommendations for nuisance properties, 306 North 6th Street.
What was that one, Karen?
That was Zeb's.
That's
Oh,
the
Zeb,
tree farm.
yeah.
The minutes are in
Yeah.
packets.
Yeah, that's the Zeb's falling
That's the
with all
one with
the
the
trees.
hole
Yeah,
in the house.
he put windows in, but now there's holes in between the new windows.
Yeah.
It's not secure by
The wall's
any means.
missing or something.
I think we just need to take action to
I agree.
eliminate it, the whole works. So is there a motion, Brian, to
Yep.
declare it a nuisance property and start the process?
If that's what you so wish.
I so wish to do that on 306 North 6th Street.
Second.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Second one is 101 West Congress.
That
look like too much there. It's just, I mean, yeah.
I think some of it's been cleaned up since before or after the meeting.
Jerry's talked to those people, I believe.
Yeah, it was, they had some trailers behind the house, and they had regular tin on it, and it was blowing in people's yards and in the alleys. And I told them once to clean it up, and they did. They put it back, but they didn't put nothing on top of it. So when the wind blew again, it went all over it. So since this letter come out, I went by there yesterday and tonight. It's all been put nicely, and they put 2x4s and other stuff on top of it, so it's not blowing anywhere now. And it's been cleaned up a lot more. The whole backyard has, and not just the tin. So I think it's pretty much taken care of.
Yeah, so I drove by, it looked pretty good, so.
Is that junk tin?
No, she said it's new tin,
Is it
is
new?
what she told me.
You what?
Is
She
it
told
new?
me it was new tin that she was waiting to get put on her house.
That might have been, this was old tin.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
I mean, do we need to make sure they get rid of it, or
It looked like they either
think they did?
put it nicely down where it looks like some of it has been gone, but maybe it's just piled up nicely.
It looks better.
I was just more worried about the wind blowing it all over, because neighbors were taking it and putting it back behind their cars in their driveway to give them the idea that we don't want your tin. But it's been cleaned up pretty good now.
Okay.
Keep an eye on it or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the owner was kind of worried about it, so
yeah.
if I have a problem, I'll talk to him.
Okay. Third one is at 222 East Locust.
That's the one with the junk in the backyard.
In the front yard, in the side
Yeah.
yard, and
So,
That brown house.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll make a motion to send them a nuisance letter also and start the process.
Okay. Second,
I'll second that motion.
Pam, Bob,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
motion carries. 205 North 7th Street.
Yeah, what was that one, Jeremy?
Yeah, it's Christensen's over there on 7th.
Apple trailer and a couch.
They have a camper up front. It's one propane tank sitting next to the
okay,
camper,
gotcha.
is what property that is.
A bunch of junk in the back that was either.
And there's mattresses and everything between them. I haven't driven by it, never cleaned it up or not. I didn't,
Yeah, I didn't get a chance today either, so.
I doubt it.
You go by there today, Jerry, at all?
Yeah, I did, unless it's moved back behind some of the campers they have, because they're all over behind the house and stuff. The empty lot to the north of the house has been cleaned up real well. It's like nothing's there no more. So I don't know if they moved some of that by their garage, but I didn't get to see a whole lot tonight. Yeah, I didn't look that hard tonight. But it has been cleaned up a little bit.
Is there enough there, Jerry, to declare it a nuisance and have them clean it more? Want to take another look at it?
I'll take another look at it. I think I can work with them and get it cleaned up without having
All right.
a motion carried in.
Next one's 511 East Pilcher.
Is that the one?
Right across from Zion, to the north.
Oh, okay,
The
yeah.
one that's previously
We need-
done.
Yeah, and the one that they put the fence up
Yeah.
last year. Yeah.
They've accumulated a lot more junk by the garage. And so I would make a motion to declare that a nuisance property again.
Second,
I'll second that motion.
any discussion? Pam,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
Bob,
All right.
motion carries. 214 South Maple.
That's one with the trucks and falling in buildings. So,
Yep.
yeah. I'll make a motion to send a nuisance letter to 214 South Maple.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? Bob,
Aye.
Pam, Brian,
Aye.
motion carries. 208 South Maple.
That's right. back behind the bank.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right there, so that white fence.
yeah,
Yeah, that's,
in the back there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'll make a motion to declare that a nuisance property also and start the process.
Second?
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Pam?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Motion carries. 214 East Locust?
That's that greenhouse right beside that brown house.
Correct.
That's,
Yep.
yeah. I'll make a motion to send a nuisance letter to 214 East Locust.
Okay, second?
Second.
Any discussion? Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. And finally, 107 South Pine? Right next to the alley, like straight south here, half a block south of the highway,
It's
on the
got
north side of the alley.
Cars sitting there that are unlicensed and operable.
Oh, yeah.
Those doors broken at the time.
Which we do by the garage too. Yeah, I'll make a motion to send them a nuisance letter also.
Okay, second.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion. Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 21.
I interject.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So the health board has been talking about what constitutes as a nuisance. People have asked about, I know we've talked to cops about unlicensed vehicles. And the big thing that people have been talking about is, can the cops take care of the unlicensed vehicles on the properties as a police officer? And the health board kind of talked about it, and we looked through our zoning and stuff, and it's actually a nuisance to have an inoperable / unlicensed vehicles just sitting on your lot. Bruce can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but that's the way our ordinance reads in the zoning and in our health board. So if people see those things, that's why you see on here that some of them might just be unlicensed or broken down vehicle in there. But until you're an actual junkyard, you really can't just leave them all over your place. So that's why we're gonna probably operate to the health board, is what the health board recommended anyway.
So Jerry, when you guys are doing your patrols, could you please bring a list to the health board? Make notes of ones you guys see doing your patrols and bring them to the health board, we can talk about them.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Anything else?
Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. Educate the public, that's what we're, the citizens, okay. Number 21, discussion, action, possible acquisition of 112 South Elm Street, Plainview, Nebraska. Mr. That be you or Susan or both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Susan has talked to the county attorney, I think. Jeremy has talked to the county attorney. I've talked to the county attorney a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his position is that, yes, he'll go ahead with the full tax foreclosure and name everybody possible and take it all out again.
Yep.
This will be about the third time that's been done. You know, before the first tax foreclosure, we had talked the owners out of the property back in 2012 or something like that. But the city declined to go further with it and didn't spend any more money and didn't tear it down. So then this outfit Vandalay had a tax lien. They did just what Adair has done. They bid, but they never paid. So it sat there, so it ran some more taxes, so now Adair has bid. City still owns it. And we talked about, you can go in and do something with it if you want to take an aggressive position. But there is still this judgment. For title to be clear, I still think that the cleanest way to get it all taken care of is let the county attorney do it. But once that happens, follow through. I mean, if the city's gonna buy it back, then do something with it. Now, we could press elsewhere if you want to. We could press Adair. They are still sitting there with a 2-year-old judgment. They bid $3,500, which the city looked at the time and decided to not go that far, remember? Nobody wanted to put that much extra into it. And they got an order of sale from the county sheriff May of 2016. And then they stopped. Now we could, for the city, file a motion to call them into contempt of court or something like that for messing with the system, pretending to bid and then not carrying through. We could put their feet to the fire a little bit, but all we would accomplish, remember, is get them to pay the county the $3,500, and then Adair would have title. I mean, I really think the cleanest way is to wait for the tax foreclosure, painful though that may be. I mean, we've also got nuisance findings on that property. You know, if you wanted to go forward and spend the 5,000 is probably optimistic, 7,500 or something, and try and tear the thing out of there and clean it off, be no harm. I talked with Ted about that a little bit. He said, well, he doesn't care. You know, anything we do to clean up the situation, he'd be in favor of it. We'd probably have Adair in screaming bloody murder that they have rights according to this judgment. I don't know. We've waited this long. You know, the first time to strike was back in 2012 when we first got the deed. But it kind of stalled out then and nothing more got done. The city at that point could have taken the darn thing, torn it down, and resold the vacant lot back then, but it's just a matter of biting the bullet, if you will. But now for clear title, county attorney and the tax foreclosure is really the best bet.
Any indication when
Whatever
that'll
you
happen,
want,
or
whatever you want to do.
any indication when that'll happen, or is it just at their mercy whenever they do it?
October.
Like October.
The tax sale's in
Yeah.
October.
October?
He
And
says
it's on the
he's
list.
going to move on it in October.
I think we should wait,
Yeah.
make it clean.
That makes sense.
That's the plan then.
Can we table that and Brian? or just-
Sure.
Yeah. That's tabled till
October,
October, November.
watch for the tax sale, huh?
Right.
Number 22, discussion action, zoning board recommendations for building permits. First one is for Arden Miller, 86292 536 Avenue, storage building. It's just south on the SNA Feedlot Road.
So there was no problems with this one. Obviously, it's recommended. The drawing isn't that specific, but she had a hard time getting out of her house, so she couldn't. She had to be escorted in and out of her property every time, and it happened about once every 2 weeks. So this is what we got, and the zoning board didn't see any problem with it. So.
I'll make a motion to approve Arden Miller's storage building.
Okay, second?
Second.
Any discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Second one is for Seth Noble, 101 South 4th Street for a fence. That'd be across the street from Casey's or to the east of the bank.
Recommend from the zoning board again, they met all the requirements. So.
Make a motion to approve the building permit for Seth Noble for a privacy fence at 101 South 4th Street.
Second? Any discussion? Bob?
Aye.
Brian?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Page 2. It's been a while since I said that. Number 23, discussion action, approval of street paving projects. First one, Lincoln Avenue gap, these first ones are gap paving, Lincoln Avenue between 2nd and 3rd Streets for an estimated $105,152.61.
Okay, so these are, what we're doing today is essentially, you're saying that you want to move forward, and I'll start working with the engineers to create districts, and we'll have public hearings, and we'll send out notices. So this is just the very first step. This is on the one-year plan. You guys showed desire, you came and talked to me, said you guys want to move forward, and so here's really the first step of, do you want me to start working with the engineer, creating districts, and going through the process and moving forward? So.
The engineer had given you individual pages with maps. I have the easiest access to a full-size plat map and ran a map that shows them kind of in the big picture, if you want one, for discussion. But really, Jeremy's got the the proper level of discussion here. Are we gonna move or not?
That's where we're at. I called him, we wanted to get estimates so we know where we're at for if we did go through all of them, the entire bonding unit out. And yeah, we're here to either move forward or not, so it's up to council to do so.
And remember, if you do this, it's either out of pocket, or you go the route with the engineer, get the bonding company in here, make a district and plan to assess it. And you've got to do it one way or another. I don't think the city has $1 million to spare.
No.
So probably, if you're gonna go forward, you gotta go the route of make the districts call the bonding company, have them come explain assessments and tagging it onto the property.
And that's where we're at. And you can choose how much you want to assess or not.
Once it's done, you do. After you're done and you get the numbers. But before you start, you've got to establish the paving districts according to the rules of the bonding company. If we don't do it their way, then they won't play. And you can't sell bonds and you can't come up with $1 million. So you got to have them in here first if you're going to do it.
I have had a lot of phone calls. I know some people are here. They said they wanted to speak their opinions. I told them that this obviously wouldn't be the last. This is one of many. This is only initial start, but I think if you guys want to, you can allow me here and talk. I know some people have wanted to voice their opinion on it, so.
Yeah,
The mayor, if he chooses to accept anything.
I say we usually don't at this. We had the discussion a year and a half ago with Mr. Holt when he explained how this all works. And like again, this is just the first step. This is not approving to pave the street. It's just approving to move forward to get more costs and estimates.
That's fine.
Can you tell me what the city covered before?
I haven't looked back there because we haven't got that far, so I didn't spend time looking into
I
it.
can tell you most of what the city's covered before. Usually the city just covers the intersections. That's the most public part of it, and they don't stick the property owner with the extension into the intersections. The city has on occasion tried to absorb what you could stand off the assessment and knock off 20% or knock off 40%. And you don't have to assess it all, but as a practical matter, I think your staff can tell you how much cash you got to put in the streets, and I doubt if it's too much.
Yeah, I have seen communities where they've taken like the lowest street and they've made it even, so it didn't matter where you live. If it was $60 running foot, it was $60 for no matter what block, so everybody paid, the same across the board. Because I mean, you have one that's 105 and you have one that's 147. So I've seen it do like that too. It's really, when we get to that point, it is entirely up to this board to move forward on it.
And what you can afford.
And what you can afford, yeah. Yep.
So again, this is just a action item to. What's up?
About 6 months ago, I think it was, there was a meeting like this here talking about doing this stuff. And there was a lot of upset people with doing streets they didn't want done, didn't do them any good. And council come back, and I thought they put this to bed 6 months ago. They weren't gonna do it. Now it's being brought up again within 6 months. We're gonna have this every 2 or 3 months or what?
That was the 1 in 6
That
plan.
was the 1 in 6.
That's
It was not the 1 in 6 plan. It might have been on the 1 in 6 plan, but it's still planning to go ahead, and nobody wanted it then, so why would they want it now? Does anybody here want it?
I've been here over 6 months and we've never talked about
Nobody.
paving a street yet.
Well, it was all talked about paving the streets and what the cost was and everything else.
The 1 in
And
6
they brought it to the council. The council at that time, it's a little different now, but still not. Nobody still wants it. Are they still gonna go ahead and push this through when nobody wants it? I mean, why go to the trouble of getting the bond people stuff if you're gonna have people fighting it?
But should we never ever pave another street in Plainview?
Well,
I mean, how did the streets get paved now?
What's that?
How did the streets get paved now?
Well, they
So don't
probably
need one.
approved it.
You can't keep
If you
doing
in front of a
nothing.
house, it'd be nice to have the paving maybe, but
Yeah.
it goes on the side of your house, is absolutely no good.
And
Well,
I
you gotta
thought-
look at right now. I mean, everything is just going higher and higher. You could wait 4 years, you could have different council, they could approve it. You're gonna pay $200,000.
Well,
I
right
mean-
now, nobody has the money. The city doesn't have the money. People don't want to pay for it. I'm just connecting streets. Before they do gap paving, they ought to pave streets coming off the highway, which would make more use and make the town look better. Instead of gap paving that people don't want. It doesn't really do them any good. And most of the people here, they got side streets, they don't use it. Everybody else might use it. Well, if everybody else wants paving, let them pay for it.
Yeah.
I
Another
mean, it's easy to
factor,
spend other people's money.
another factor too is our town is growing to the northeast. And I don't know, I'm sure people will buy lots without paving, but
You know?
I'm sure a lot more will buy it with.
I understand there's a fourplex going up there without paving. I don't know why they'd even think about putting it up there without paving, but
Because the city water and sewer was already there and it was cheaper.
yeah, with no paving. If people want to rent apartments, that's fine, they probably will, but
I'm not in favor of doing nothing. I mean, we haven't
you know,
paid.
do the ones that want to do it and the ones that don't want to do it. I mean, that's always been the policy of the council the past years. If the people that are affected by the paving didn't want to do it, the majority of them didn't, they wouldn't do it. Whether they go ahead and gap pave or they can have a district do it.
But how will we ever get streets paved then? I mean, I don't,
Well, when people want to pay for the paving, I suppose.
they never will though. I mean, I wouldn't
Some of them
personally
will.
either.
If it's on the front street, they might. I mean, if I had a front of the house with gravel road, it'd be worth it to have it. But
I think we need to go through the process and let it work its course.
if you're going to be fighting an uphill battle for you.
Not really.
You'll see.
Yeah,
Not when you're asking people to pay 100% on that road.
we aren't yet. That hasn't been
You guys
established.
don't have any money to pay for anything.
That hasn't been established yet.
Louder, please, I can't hear you.
I said, that hasn't been established yet, has it?
We've watched the meetings, you guys say you don't have any money. You guys have never offered to pay a certain percent of the roads.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you about that.
You've always said you're gonna come back to the landowners. Between 4 people, $125,000 for one road that we don't even want paved. So I guess we should have built our house on the other side of Plainview. So because we keep our area nice and clean and well-maintained, and we have that cost right now of doing that, you're gonna establish that as a part of Plainview to grow and make us pay for that. You tell me how that's fair.
I'm not. I
It's
don't know.
not.
I don't know if it's fair, but it's kind of the way things go. I mean, I don't know. I would be in the same boat if I were you, but I can't see us sitting here doing nothing all the time. I just can't.
But I guess the city should have thought about that when they knew that they were gonna want to possibly think of this area as a development and come up with a plan. Besides just making us pay for it. There's gotta be other avenues out there that aren't explored. It's just too easy to say, well, that's just how it is, we're just gonna charge the landowners.
Well, we've been putting it off for years, though.
Yes, I'm David Snodgrass, and I'm representing a property on the same street that Cal was talking about. It's a storage building, and I see no benefit. I drive over there probably 5 days a week to tinker something, and I just soon take the street south of there that's gravel. In fact, that's the way I go 80% of the time.
Well, if you do a little research and find out the ones that want to do the paving, then plan on those projects.
There's only
Good luck.
the one that we've heard of ask, and we haven't heard no response yet.
Yeah, that's not a gap paving.
I know there's people on.
We're one we want. I mean, we've had I've talked to the whole neighborhood, and we would like to have our street paved just because we're tired of the potholes, the water not flowing all the time. We had a hole at the end of our driveway for a while. We got it filled finally, but
That's good. I mean, there's people want people paved, the street paved. I know Bill Michael, I think he's on 8th Street, 7th Street.
7th.
He's been wanting that done for 20 years and didn't get done. So instead of trying to shove something down somebody's throat, pave the ones that want paved and get that done.
I think you pave.
Well, no, we're not saying yes right now. We just want to see what it's going to cost, what we can do to help. You know, we don't want you guys to have to pay for all this either, but we can't do anything without moving forward to see what it's going to cost and what can be done and what can't be done.
There was a study done last year, that's what it cost. They brought up all the costs of those areas.
I mean, is this what this bid's for right now?
I thought this bid was current.
What was that?
I thought these numbers were current as of last
They're as
month.
current as possible.
This is an estimate from the engineer.
Yeah.
This
I
year.
would say that's pretty estimate, that
Yeah.
we just had it
Right.
done last month, right, by Miller?
Yep.
Yeah, this is current, 2022.
Okay, so we know approximately then what the cost is gonna be.
Right.
Another thing to look at is, Kurt, you guys having to go out and blade the roads. You know, that's wear and tear on equipment that, you know, the council's got to pay for, gravel on the roads and stuff too. So, yeah, you still got upkeep on concrete and stuff too, but, you know, if you're beating up the roads, the concrete's gonna take it a little bit better than gravel roads are, especially when you get a lot of moisture and stuff, so.
Mr. Mayor, if I
Yes.
could ask
Go ahead, Doug.
one question as I look at the list.
Sure.
Lincoln Street between Main and Pine, the ball field, that was, from what I understood at the December 8th council meeting, when we discussed the 1 and 6 year, that was moved to the 1 year.
Correct.
So why is it not on this list to be considered?
Well, when we talked, me and you, we talked, what we said that I would bring it forward for GO bond, which is a general obligation bond, which goes through a whole different process because it goes for election in May of 2022.
Okay.
So it would be in a later date we would discuss those options because obviously if you had assessed it, you'd be assessing the school, a governing body, the city, a governing body, two croplands, which are exempt, to be ag exempt, the manor, which is obviously another.
Very complicated. Understood.
Yeah. So it wouldn't fall in this process, but yes, as we discussed, we would move forward with an election on that if the council so chose.
So it doesn't move off a priority list?
No.
You know, as a through street that the whole community would be pitching in for. Okay, I just would continue to advocate for that. I've been doing that since I've been back in town.
As have I.
So, okay, I just want
And like you said, it'll be everybody that's not only a city,
yeah,
a property owner in the city of Plainview, but everybody in the District 5, which would include a little bit of Antelope and Knox counties.
I understand it's a lot more complicated, but just because it's complicated, I don't want to move it down the priority list. Would just be my position.
I don't think the complications are reasonable. I have an estimate on that one already too.
Yeah.
So.
I just don't know if you want a special election rather than just have it on a general election when more people are going to turn out anyway.
Whatever it takes, whatever hoops to jump through a process.
Absolutely.
Seems to me that would be one that would be relatively more accepted as a potential paving project than gap paving or residential. So.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Absolutely, you're welcome. Okay, what does the council wish to do to move forward in the first step, Lincoln Avenue between 2nd and 3rd Streets?
Yeah, you can do a slate if you want to do a slate. Or you can do whatever you want.
There's 6 that are considered gap paving and 3 that are non-gap paving. The first 6 are the gap pavings.
No, they're all gap paving or one extension. So the only one that's not a true gap is actually just a 1 block extension, which still falls underneath the same one, and that would be the
6th Street.
6th Street.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion to move forward on paving streets.
On the slate of them?
Each one or all 9? All 9, okay.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, voting, Brian?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Pam?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 24, council comments. Bob?
I guess I got nothing.
Okay, Pam? Brian?
I don't have anything.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All, second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Post same sign?